Welcome back, traders, and today we're looking at the Bitcoin chart as well as the usual suspects of miners with Mara, Bit Digital, and Bit Farms. I might also look at Hut, maybe Clean Spark. Those also had some exciting days today. As you can see here, we're on the Bitcoin chart currently. We are just flirting with the top of this zone here that I've drawn, sort of following this orange line I've drawn as well. We'll see what happens there. As you can see here, we went up into this order block, got rejected with a red engulfing, and now it's kind of coming back up again. It really doesn't want to go below that 26,000 right now. We'll see how that is affected going into the future here, but right now we're just kind of sticking to that 26,000. Doesn't really want to go above 26.2 or really below 25.8. It kind of feels a little bit similar to what we got stuck in over here when we first came down. Let me put this on the 1 day. It's looking a lot like when we first got down. This could be a bear flag right here. That's very possible with this upward move with a flat top. This is actually looking a lot like a bear flag. I don't like that at all. That's really concerning for me personally. So yeah, so kind of upward like that, and then we do a horizontal ray with a bit of a flat top there. If we don't get above this here, we're gonna have to get above this yellow line here. Otherwise, I'm gonna say this is a bear flag. It really looks like when a rising wedge like that is usually pretty bearish. So I'm looking, we might go into the 25s, maybe even lower. That's gonna be really, really brutal on the Bitcoin miners, as you can see already from just today. It's been really bad. Things are getting quite real in the Bitcoin mining trade. Mara down. What are we down today? We're down 3% today. We are following this cup and handle still, potentially. It's still not off yet, but look how dramatic. Okay, if we go to the daily, look how just absolutely dramatic this fall off got here on August 15th. It just sort of woo straight down, even more dramatic than this upward trend that we had. However, I'm feeling like that, yeah, it's going to go down, and we're going to settle somewhere in here between $10 and $9. I'm convinced of that. We're going into this strong support down here because we're below this support right here that the bottom of was 1141. We're below that now. We're holding below that now today on our candle today. We're going to the support. I'm pretty certain. Okay, I can't say that for sure. No one has a crystal ball, but as far as I'm concerned, I am preparing mentally to go into this support right here between $10 and $9. That is going to be kind of brutal to look at on my account when it gets there, but you better believe that I'm ready to buy here when it gets there. And I'm pretty sure it's headed there. As long as it doesn't break below it, the cup and handle is still in play and it could bounce off going upward. Of course, that does depend on the price of Bitcoin. That also depends on the transaction fees. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, the transaction fees hit a 5-month low just last week, and that news came out yesterday. So as I mentioned in that video today, I was expecting a pretty bad a pretty bad bloodbath, and that's what we're seeing here. Just in just about all of them, we're down 3% on Mara, under $11. I've got puts I sold at 10.50. So we get down to this level right here, just that much further where my cursor currently is. Let me draw a line there, and I'm triggered. And I'll be buying, I think, 300 shares of Mara there when it gets there. So that's all it has to do. It just has to do one more of these little engulfing red candles, and I'm buying 300 shares because I have got puts open. Uh, so that's great. Let's see here. What else? Bit Digital. Bit Digital's not doing so hot at all. I mentioned yesterday that there's not really any support in this gap here. It's going straight down to this gap if it can't recover. You can see we did a bear flag here. And this little upward channel, I was thinking it might back test $3 here. Didn't even try. You can see all those wicks on top, the wick on top, wick on top. This is all very bearish here. This is classic bear flag right here. As you can see, it's a little bit like an ascending wedge if we draw our line like that. Let's see here, just like what we're seeing on the price of Bitcoin right now. A little bit of an ascending wedge. Kind of came up here, and it hit the top right here of the wedge, and then just blah, 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 falling down. That looks very familiar to what we're seeing on Bitcoin right now. As I drew that earlier, you saw it, flat top here, kind of ascending wedge. We may see one little breakout below the wedge and then come back up to test the top here again at 26.3. And then it might just be like Bit Digital where we just drop right off from there. We're at 250. 250 is a zone where I have quite a few puts open that I sold. So I'll be buying, I think, like 500 shares when those get triggered. If they expire in the money or if whoever I sold them to does an early execution on me. If that happens, then I have to buy those shares at $2.50, and that's that. That's okay though. That's what I signed up for. I'm prepared to watch this fall. I am deep in the red again today. It's bad. It's really bad. But yeah, we're down 4.5% today, right? 4.37% today. It's rough. And I mentioned several times that this trade's going to get tough. This is going to be a test of resolve, a test of your conviction. In this trade, my conviction is high. I am not giving up. I am just buying more. I'm averaging down, just like I've done with every crypto trade I've ever done and made money on. I'm averaging on my way down. On the hardest days to buy, I am buying more. That's my personal method of getting through this. It is difficult. It's hard to look at. It is psychologically a challenging thing to do, but I'm not going to lose money on this. I'm not going to. It's not going to happen. Now, again, that is not any advice to buy, sell, or hold anything ever. Always do your own research, come to your own conclusions, make your own decisions, decide ahead of time whether or not the risk is something you are capable of handling, but needs to hold this line. I just noticed something. It needs to hold this line right here. It needs to stay here. It can't go below 250. We go below 250. We're going down to $2, honestly. If it doesn't hold 250, $2. Next stop. There's not much here. This is all just upward movement. There's not a lot of sideways action in here. There's a little bit between 223 and $2 flat. A little bit, not much. The next stop after that is down under $2. So there's going to be very possibly a pretty significant drop there. Yeah, in the 2/10. Yeah, right around here. This box here, even back here. Yeah, it's mostly here in the under the $2 range. So if we get through this light resistance here between 220 and $2, if we get through that, we're going sub $2. That's just unless Bitcoin does a turnaround, unless this is not a bear flag, unless this turns around, that's what's happening here with Bit Digital. It's just gonna look bad for a little while. That's my expectations, anyways, based on what I'm seeing on the chart. Bit Farms. Bit Farms did exactly what I was thinking. It went up to the top of the channel here, had some trouble, and now it's on its way down. We're definitely headed back down to the 120 probably. If not 120, probably 123, 122, right here to the center line. But the center line, if we follow this trajectory of by the hour, center line is going to meet to 120 here. I have been buying here. I have puts that I sold at $1. So it has to get all the way down here before those get triggered. And that's pretty far for Bitfarms. It could, and I'd be happy to buy more Bitfarms at $1. But that's what we're looking at here. It's going to continue to follow this downward trend that I drew for Bitfarms, which is staying in just beautifully for now. Let me do it right here from the top here, from this downward spiral here. About right there. All right. So I wanted to see it come out, test, and then launch from there upward. That's what I want to see. Here it came back, tested, but it went in, and then it kind of came up a little bit, and then just kind of danced on it. That was no strength at all. You want to see it come back out, test the top of the channel, and then just launch from there. You want it to be like a launch pad, and that's what we're looking for. I want it to come out, come back, and then launch off of it. Let's see, Hut's also suffering today. They are at down 2%, which isn't so bad. Not so bad. But we're quickly coming down to this $2 box down here that I've got. What about CleanSpark? CleanSpark, same thing. Big bearish engulfing candle. Making a new low today down here. That's no good. Lower high, lower low. If we make a lower high up here around the $556 range, and then another lower low down here in the $4 range, that's what we're looking for to happen on CleanSpark, just because that's what it looks like the chart is saying. And support's going to be here. Going to be here in the $4 range. There's a significant amount of support there, so I don't know if it'll break through that. It's it's going to have to go through quite a lot of, like, look at this, lot of support right in this little band here. If it breaks through that, we're going to be reaching these lows down here in the $2 range, just like with everything else. But that's what I expect. We could just as easily see it come down into the zone and then again launch off, which is what you'd want to see if it's going to do a reversal. It comes into a supply zone and then launches. That's what we're looking for. But of course, that depends on Bitcoin. It's a bit gloom and doom today, and it's going to stay that way until Bitcoin gets back above $30,000. To be honest, Bitcoin's going to have to make some moves, otherwise we're going to suffer here in the mining space. And that's all we can do right now is either buy on the way down, dollar cost average on the way down to lower that overall cost average. You utilize options as I've been doing, or simply stay out of it and wait. Again, not advice, not financial advice to buy, sell, or hold anything. With that said, please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content, and have a profitable day.